Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to share a hadith that I was going over that's kind of important to me, and I'm probably going to reflect on it all day. You know, for Jumu'ah, sometimes I like to pick out particular hadiths, some ayats, and I like to reflect on them all day, right? And then I like to take a look at my life and like what's going on at the time, and kind to weigh in how I can apply this, like reflecting on it, how I can see this in my life, and or how can I use this to affect change in my life, of course for the better, and try to get closer to Allah. And this is a hadith that has stuck with me for years, since the first time I even read it or heard about it was in like maybe 2003, somewhere around there. So this is 2024, so we talking a good 21 years ago in that area, right? So it always stuck with me, but I never thought that I would see a day where this hadith was a reality. And that's why I want to reflect on it, because it's like a reality. Now the version of the hadith I'm going to read is in Dawood, the Sunan of Abu Dawood. Some people may have heard this hadith. The wording is a little different depending on the version you have and how they translated it into English. And then some of the wording may be a little bit stronger due to who narrated it, and the route that it came through. You know, some a little bit more detailed. But I'm going to read this one from Sunan Abi Dawood because of the takreej that comes with it. So this one is narrated by Thawban, right? May Allah be pleased with him. Thawban said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, soon the nations will come together and invite each other to partake in what the Muslims have. And it says, as diners call one another to a large dish. Like diners as in people who eat, like a buffet. The people who there to eat. So they gonna invite each other in to partake on what the Muslims have going on, like a buffet. Right? We just gonna, the other nations. We're going to come together and carve up this country, take all the oil. We're going to come over here, corrupt this, whatever they got going on, even if it's Deen. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're going to take their Islam away. And then have them spreading a fake version of Islam. Right? So, the Rasul, this is a warning. The nations is going to come together and just treat the Muslim Ummah like a buffet. Just gonna be gorging. So somebody who was standing there said, will it be because we will be few in number on that day? So this is a time when the Rasul is talking to the Muslim Ummah and they strong. 4-5 Muslims A small group of Muslims made first hijrah to Africa when the Rasul sent them to the Christian country where they had a good Christian king who, alhamdulillah, ended up accepting Islam. This is a king, Christian country. A small group of Muslims went there and changed the whole area, and it's till this day. You understand? That king ended up accepting Islam. Small group of Muslims left and went to Syria and all these different areas, and they turned these places into Muslim countries or heavily Muslim populated. Egypt, a lot of places. So they looking at this like this doesn't even make sense to them. So that's why he questioning like it must only gonna be just a few of us. Like basically, you know, we so strong and our laws on our side. They're gonna have to overpower us to do it. Like, how they gonna be able to pull it off? It must only gonna be a couple of us. You see what I'm saying? So they asking the Rasul, like you know, like make it make sense, basically. So the Rasul said, no. Rather, you will be the many on that day. Right? It's going to be a extreme large amount of you. To the point where it's going to take groups of other people to form up together to come against you. Right? You're going to be numerous on that day. But you will be like the refuse, like garbage, right? Of a flood. So some describe it as like when you see in the ocean how garbage and stuff wash up on the beach. Or watch when a real big wave come hit. Just go watch a video of a wave and notice the water be blue, and then if you look at the wave, the whole top part of the wave is just white, almost like a foam. And then watch how all of that hit the beach, and it's just like a whole bunch of foam and like debris. It's just useless. So some clear explanations describe it like the foam on that hit the beach, right? You will be like the refuse of a flood, just whatever's left behind, just totally useless. Like the only reason why you end up where you ended up is because the water just washed you up on the beach. You're so useless, you don't even have any wherewithal of how you end up where you end up. And this is Islamically. You see what I'm saying? This is Islamically. Like right now you have a day and time. And this is definitely due to kibr and arrogance. Not the English version of arrogance, but the Islamic version of arrogance, where you basically just refusing to accept the truth. You turning away from the truth. In this day and time, you have Muslims who never even read the whole entire Quran, and they know they haven't, right? Never read one complete book about Islam, period, and they know that they haven't. Haven't sat in a classroom, you know, may have listened to a little bit of a lecture on YouTube, but they trying to teach people Islam. Some cats who done went to prison, don't knock the prison, but they done learned the prison version of Islam, and they mixing it in with a little bit of lies so that they could be leaders of the people, and you know, may have gave a khutbah in jail, you know, might have been given the khutbahs in jail, but don't know nothing about hadiths, don't know nothing about tafsirs, usul of fiqh, sharia, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Really a bunch of bid'ah and deviations, and they giving a khutbah. So they try to dictate what should be taught and how things should go. You know, like a saying that I always say, man, a kid in the first grade can't tell you how college should go. They don't even know what second grade is like. And then on top of that, they might be a poor first grader. They might be failing first grade. So, due to this, now look how I tie into the Hadith. So, it's almost like the blind leading the blind. Unfortunately, sometimes the ignorant can only teach ignorance. You can't learn knowledge from the mouth of an ignorant person only in one way, that you look at them and say, you learn not to be like them. You don't learn knowledge from the mouth of an ignorant person, except for in that type of way where you say, this is how I don't want to be. You learn how to not be. You see what I'm saying? So ignorance is being spread. So now you have Muslims that's just ignorant. Don't know how they got ignorant. You can't even pay them money to think they ignorant. So this is kind of like the garbage, the scum that's just floating with the water in the flood, just ending up anywhere. Islamically, the Muslims is ending up there. So look what it says. Allah will take away fear of you from the hearts of your enemies. So the people who against you, even poor Muslims, like Muslims who really enemies of Islam, because they enemies of the Quran and Sunnah, because they really up on the Deen of their desires, their fear is going to start to disappear. You know, it was a time, man, you know what I'm saying, when I was coming up, when you talked about Islam, you had to have dalil that matched. This is one of the reasons why you have isnads. So that the Muslim Ummah, because they knew that it was a time that was going to come that Muslims was just going to say anything that they wanted. So when I was coming up, around the type of individuals I was talking to, you had to have dalil for your statements. You see what I'm saying? And I noticed a lot of the times when I see people arguing, it's generally that people don't have no dalil. And then when I see the people who feel some type of way, they feel some type of way towards the person that brought dalil. And the dalil was accurate, because they so used to people not having dalil, and they feel like they're a better talker than them. Like what the Rasul said, some people just better at presenting their argument, although they know that they're lying. So the truthful one probably just couldn't present it in a way for the people that was listening. You just was better at speaking, or you overtalked that person, or you got too loud where your voice was heard and theirs wasn't. So you have a plethora of Muslims, man, that's just they used to saying whatever they want. So when a person that has real dalil, they feel some type of way towards these individuals. So like usually when there's arguments, it's with people who don't have no dalil. And I come from a time when you used to have dalil, or people wasn't speaking. If I don't have no dalil for real, I'm not speaking up on that. So I notice now people don't even have that fear. They just say whatever they want, tell the people whatever they want, bid'ah, deviation, lies, all of that. And it's destroying Islam. So Allah said He'll take away that fear from the hearts of the people, the enemies, people who don't, Muslims that don't want Quran and Sunnah, right? And Allah will pelt your hearts with Wahn. And this Wahn in your heart it's like a form of a weakness. Basically, what should be in their hearts for you is going to be reversed. Now that weakness is going to be in your heart, and now you're going to be fearful to stand on the truth around them. You know what I'm saying? And they can say whatever they want, Muslim, non-Muslim. You see what I'm saying? Like, in this day and time, I see it all the time. The Muslims that's just making up stuff and tricking other Muslims and all this other stuff, I see Muslims pacifying. But the one who's speaking the truth and giving a true message to the people, all right, man, can you kind of, tone it down? It may be too much. Just weird statements, man. The type of statements that don't even, the type of statements that come from an individual that sound like they got Wahn in their chest. But look what Allah says. So another person said, "O Allah's messenger, what is Wahn?" And what he said is love for this world and a dislike for death. Of course, nobody likes dying. Nobody likes it. But you have some who they love Allah so much, they'll go out here and get martyred. You see what I'm saying? During the times of the Rasul and them. Because the love that they have for Quran and Sunnah. Now, some of us love the world so much, we're going to choose it over Deen. And any part of the Deen that go against the love for the part of the Dunya that we have, we throw that behind our back. You see what I'm saying? We throw that type of stuff behind our back. So, with me reflecting on this, man, I really like to take a look at it and just be like, what would that look like? Well, Allah telling us, man, when it become a whole lot of us Muslims, we just gonna be one big old weak ummah. And we just gonna have a crazy love for the dunya. That's it. We just gonna have a crazy. So like when they're saying love of this world, we just gonna love the dunya. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be useless, man, like scum. Like when you look at some of the Arabic words, that like it'll say refuse and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm reading the English the way they translated it. But when you look at the Arabic and you look at stronger translations, it'd be like scum, just worthless, useless, like the scum, like the suds on a wave, man, washing up on a beach. We just gonna be completely useless. You know what I'm saying? And we breaking down to a point where you could go around some Muslims and Muslims been Muslim 20 years. And you can't even get real Islam from them. They give you some bid'ah, some made up stuff. And like, because I'm in Illinois, it might be a little bit of Black Peace Stone mixed in with your Islam. It might be a little bit of conservative Vice Lord mixed in with your Islam. It might be a dabble of Moorish American Noble Drew Ali Islam mixed in with your Islam. You see what I'm saying? A little bit of Ahmadiyyan, a little bit of Wharf Deen. You know what I'm saying? But Quran and Sunnah, it might be very minimal. And then it just might be the tongue. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know how to say this, I know the words, but how to implement it or implement it in accordance with the real Quran and Sunnah. Like, you can have individuals that could be like, you got to make wudu. And then they teach a person how to make wudu, and it's not even in accordance with the Quran and the Sunnah. Somebody teach you how to pray, and it could be in accordance with this, but then there's all type of evidence and proofs and dalil that the Rasul never prayed that way. So you can go to them and learn how to not pray like the Prophet prayed. But, some cliques of madhabs and different things come together and say, well, although it's true, the Prophet didn't pray that way, but we're going to be in agreement that there's no proof that invalidates the prayer also. Wahn. You think Allah Azza wa Jal, who commanded the Rasul how to pray, and the angel Jibreel comes and makes sure that the Rasul know how to do the prayer in accordance with what's acceptable to Allah, just to say, oh yeah, well, y'all, although the Prophet never prayed that way, the Prophet never taught anybody to pray that way, and although we understand that a person who was a great imam, who all the knowledge didn't reach him, taught y'all how to pray that way, we're not going to say, because we don't want to differ and fight over it, we're not going to say that your prayer isn't valid. So now you just have a plethora of Muslims praying in accordance with somebody else and not Quran and Sunnah. Wahn. So you can start to see where things is going to lead to this. But let me wrap it up and look at what some of the Taqreed says, right? Only Allah makes the disbelievers fear the believers, and only when they are worthy of the name believers. This only if they really carrying the real weight and the classification of what it is to be a movement, not people just calling themselves believers because they believe in Islam. We talking about people who really can carry the name of a movement, right? And this remains true only as long as they abide by the true teachings of Islam. How you a movement and you don't even abide by? We ain't talking about knowing. We talking about abiding by the true teachings of Islam, right? It is only through the prescription that they were blessed with success in this life and in the hereafter from their Lord. The more the Muslims go away from the Deen of Islam, from the teachings in the Sunnah, the more their enemies become fearless of them. Haq. We getting away from what Allah commanded and how the messenger and prophet that he sent, how he taught it, how he acted upon it, and how he lived it. We getting away from that. And this is the talk reads on how we gonna have a whole billions of Muslims and we just worthless. Hearts full of love for the Dunya. I see in this time, let's say an individual might be pretty decent on the streets, right? They would rather the world look at them as being thorough on the streets than being thorough as a Muslim. That's backwards. Because when you go and look at some of the Sahaba, even like your Umar, these was individuals that tried to kill the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It wasn't no secret that they was with it. Your Khalid bin Walids. It wasn't no secret that these dudes were savages on the streets before Islam. But when they came to Islam, they would rather be known as a top-notch Muslim than a top-notch knucklehead out there kicking up dust and havoc. We not that. Even like with some of the Muslims that's in the music industry. I'm going to let the world know that I'm Muslim because I know that some of my fans that's Muslims is going to listen to my music. But I would rather them know me for being this top-notch image of a person in the music industry than me being a righteous Muslim. Because being a righteous Muslim don't make me money. Wahn. Hey, I'm out here, I'm such and such. I'm known for being this and that in the community. But I would rather be known for that than being known for being a top-notch Muslim acting up on Quran and Sunnah. Wahn. Look what else it says. The more the enemies become fearless of the Muslims, and no matter what they do beyond following the Sunnah, they will never have the ability to bring about other than humiliation. Anybody who know what the Quran and the Sunnah is, and we know anytime we go out there and you see Muslims lined up in prayer outside in the parking lot because they want this to be seen, right? And then these Muslims get up from the prayer. Before they get into prayer, they drinking and smoking at the same place where they praying at. Then when they get up from the prayer, they drinking and smoking and doing dope deals. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what message are you really sending? Wahn. Well, you know, when people know you, what are you known for? You known for being a top-notch righteous Muslim, or you known for being a street nigga that's Muslim? Because you want that, you want stock for life for you saying the N-word like that, but you rather be known for being a street dude. You rather be known for this and this. Oh, I'm this and this and a Muslim. But then you have other people, man, regardless of the situation, I'd rather be known for being a Muslim man that's soft, that's try to be humble, and try to be up on this and try to be up on some kayir. I don't want to be known as a street guy. I don't want to have no name or this and that. Islam first and foremost. That's that Wahn. And as long as the Muslims carry themselves, and I'm speaking on that, the reason why I'm speaking on it, because we don't realize that that's humiliation. We don't realize that that's humiliation. You see what I'm saying? Muslims out here running to the kuffar and all these other different people thinking that they being slick, begging. Oh, can you help me donate? Can you donate? I got a program for the kids and I'm going to get them books and take them to Six Flags. But you're really begging, man, because you're tens of thousands and $50,000 in debt to the kuffar. And now you out here as a Muslim panhandling, thinking that you got the gift of gab, reduce to begging. The kuffar lying about Muslims to pay off debt. That's humiliation, man. That's humiliation. And that's how this hadith, man, because I look at that and be like, what would that look like? What would that look like? Wahn. But we need to take heed, man, and we really need to get back to the Quran and Sunnah, not just beautiful sayings. Oh, I'm a Muslim up on Quran and Sunnah, and ain't even never read the whole Quran. How you a Muslim up on Quran and ain't even never read it? How you a Muslim up on the Sunnah and you don't even know nothing about hadiths? All you do is just repeat stuff that you hear other people say. And we've been warned about that. Because like I say, the individuals that do that, Eventually they just gonna get ended up. Their name is gonna be written down with Allah as a liar, because you don't know what's true. You don't know what's falsehood. Anything that sound good to you, that make you look knowledgeable, you take it. Anything that goes against what it is that you're doing, what your heart desires, you reject it. Wahn. Wahn. You got so much love for this dunya that you want to be looked at for something that you're not. Wahn. Powerful hadith. And I'm going to reflect on it all day, or a lot of the day. And, you know, and my heart probably going to be broken. My heart probably going to be broken. You know, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say this, man, because I look at a lot of great imams. People who done went and studied 20 years, 30 years. Cat been in Yemen 27 years. Brother been in Saudi Arabia 25 years. Top-notch scholars, call them scholars. And then they have to deal with individuals that's full of wahn. Trying to bring them together, man. You know? But when a person when you keep your head in that, you know when an individual is really truly doing something fi sabilillah. And I'm gonna close with an analogy. Let's say this house right here, a brick building, any brick building that you can think of, and you just going out there by yourself with your hands pushing this building, trying to flip this building over. But you know that Allah has made it clear you're not going to be able to flip this building over. Allah is letting us know that the Muslims going to get to a point where what's in their heart? Allah tells in the Quran, man, like it don't matter if you warn them or don't warn them. But you got to keep trying to push that building to prove your dedication and love to Allah Azza wa Jal, so that you can get Jannah. So I see them brothers, man, and they know what they dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It's Ahlo Hadith, Ahlo Quran and Sunnah wa Athar, and then there's Ahlo Bid'ah, Ahlo Deviations. You know what I'm saying? Deviance, man. And sometimes, you know, you have to sit and you have to congregate with them sometimes. But the thing that'd be amazing me the most is, you know, like with me. You know, sometimes, man, brothers call me out and want me to come talk and this and that, right? Like you the vegetables. But at the same time, the individual that's poison and that continues to put poison on the vegetables, I'm going to have them around too. So basically, I want you to come out and give the people the vegetables. But I'm also going to invite this person around to put poison on the vegetables. But I expect for the people to become healthy. I got to go out and seek Ajr. I'm sitting up saying, this ain't going to work. You can't expect to have a person bring the vegetables and also have the other person that brings the poison. And then sit down and say, well, yeah, I know that person is going to bring the poison, but if he chooses to poison them, that's on him. But you know he brings the poison and you got him there. Who is that on? Who is that on? Man, we need to get back to the Quran and Sunnah, man. And sometimes, man, it break my heart, man. Like I see people, and I love them dearly, man. It's a lot of good brothers, man. A lot of good sisters, man. I love them dearly. And to see, and some of them, man, in life, they alhamdulillah. But Islamically, Wahn. Wahn. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what you know what I'm saying? What we supposed to do, man? You know, we even know, man, Allah is not going to unite the Muslims' hearts on falsehood. What we supposed to do, man? Unite on falsehood? Hey, here y'all go, man. Here go the vegetables. Although this individual is going to put poison on them, I'm here to give y'all the vegetables anyway. But the thing is, I'm finna bring y'all the vegetables for free and pay for them. These individuals might be getting paid to put the poison on them. Let me go on out here and poison these vegetables for some extra money. But then mythologically, although Islam is saying that ain't gonna work, we supposed to sit down and be like, yeah, man, you know, this idea is splendid. Come on, man. Come on, man. You gonna have Ahlo Hadith and Ahlo Bidah, and you're gonna use that to make the people better? That don't even make any sense. Like I said, it's like having an individual saying, hey, here y'all go, man, here go some fresh vegetables. But hold on 1 second. He got to put some poison on them first. We worthless. Let me get up out of here, man. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And this is not to say all the Muslims is worthless. I'm using the wordings from the Hadith. The warning that the Rasul gave to us. So what we really need to take from that is, individually, I got to get myself together. I want Jannah. I got to decide what type of Muslim I really want to be, and I got to be honest with myself. Is it Deen over Dunya, or is it Dunya over Deen for me? Am I a Muslim in the Dunya using the permissible parts of the Dunya to get to the Akhirah? Or am I a person that's in love with the Dunya, that's Muslim, but chasing more Dunya than Deen? We got to be honest with ourselves, man. Because when it boils down to a couple of things. Either you obeying Allah, either you obeying the commandments of Allah in accordance with the way the messenger and prophet that he sent, that he chose, that he strengthened. Whether you're doing it in a way that they told it, taught it, and acted up on it, and you in accordance with it, or you disobeying Allah and you rejecting what the prophet and messenger that he sent to teach and talk about and act upon, then you rejecting that. You up on something else. You up on something that Allah doesn't accept. Wahn. It's time to get it together, man. Any mistakes I made came from myself and the shaitan, because sometimes I slip of the tongue and say the wrong word, but you know, that came from myself and the shaitan. May Allah forgive me for that. And anything I say that was correct came from Allah Azza wa Jalla al-Muqtadir wal Alim al-Basir. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.